Welcome back, Source Nation. You're listening to Indie Soul Saturday.
Welcome back. We're going to go ahead and get into our conversation. We have an amazing guest here in the studio with us, and she's doing some amazing things. She's got some really good music out there, so we're glad to share that here on the show with you all today. Artist by the name of Zanya Laurence. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing very amazing. Thank you so much for taking the time out. Obviously, on a Saturday, it's the weekend, and this is probably your relaxation time, right?
No, well, not for me. I'm glad it. I actually have to go to work. I don't quite have a banker schedule, but yeah. Yeah, I wanted to get on the phone with you, so had to make it happen.
Yeah, I think this is really amazing. Thank you so much for taking the time. You've got a lot of amazing things going on, and I think the world needs to hear about that.
Oh, thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for saying that.
Oh, most definitely. I absolutely love what I've heard of your music so far, and obviously, it's great to have you here on the show. It's good for you to be able to really express, what it is that you work so hard to get out with your music that you've been releasing. And I realize, obviously, by listening to what you have out there right now, there's a lot of influence from R&B, jazz, and really just many genres. Like, have you always been, I generally say eclectic, but have you always been into, obviously, multiple genres of music and, listening to kind of some of everything?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely a fan of all genres. Well, not really so much into death metal, but, yeah, I have a nice eclectic collection of music for sure. Some of my biggest influences, though, however, are in R&B, soul, hip-hop, and jazz, so, yeah.
I think that's amazing, though, and look, we'll get along just fine because I'm not into the death metal either, so I can't stand it. So we'll get along just fine.
Thought I put that out there.
Now, obviously, Stardust is your latest in a series of 3 albums. Kind of talk a little bit about your progression as an artist and really just the growth that you've made leading up to Stardust.
Oh, my goodness. Well, it's been a very long road. I started recording right when I got out of high school in 1999. Met up with a few rappers and singers that had a little janky studio in a house down the street from where I worked, and I had already been a writer, and well,
but, I know exactly what you mean, but I just love hearing it, though.
You call it for what it is. But, so, yeah, they were telling me about it. I told them I sang a little bit, and at that time I was still shy, and I actually, don't laugh, but I actually started off rapping because I've always been a writer and I always wanted to write lyrics, so I started off writing rhymes because I felt like I had a lot to say at the time. And no, I wasn't like Little Kim the Second. I was kind of more trying to talk about issues and stuff like that. And I was still shy and not quite comfortable in my own skin as far as getting out there and singing full voice. So that was kind of like my avenue to get into being a recording artist. Anyway, they took me to the studio. I fell in love with the process. And, yeah, the rest is pretty much history. After that, went to college for a little while at the University of New Mexico, Valencia campus, and took some courses out there, but I realized, what I really wanted to do was music, and I applied to a few different music schools around the country, got into the Musicians Institute in Los Angeles. I moved out there, did that, started a band, released my first album. It was a really, really cool experience, and during that time, I was like, okay, this is who I am. This is what I'm going to do, and eventually ended up moving back home. My dad got sick, made another album, and I'm just like 19 years later, I'm still doing it, and I just love it. It's my way of expressing myself, my way of connecting with the world and people and issues in it. And so I'm really proud of this last album, Stardust. It took over 4 years to finally piece together, but it's my baby, and finally released it this last November 6th. I have a couple of singles off of it. You and I believe is one that we're about to hear, and then Live the Dream is another one. But yeah, it's full of so much heart and emotion as far as I can say. But yeah, I really hope you guys enjoy it. It means the world to me, and that we have the avenue for, opportunities like this to talk to you guys on air about it and share what we do, and it's just really great.
I think it's amazing. I, for one, am loving it, and it's new to me, but I'm definitely loving it. I love You and I love This Is Who I Am. I love Live the Dream. I think the album is really amazing, and I think that your story resonates with so many people, because the reality is we all have so much in common, and there's things that we really want to do and pursue out there, and your thing has been entertainment and music, and it's so many people that want to do that, and they get sidetracked because a lot. Your dad got sick, so you went back to take care of your dad. You tried school, but you realized that you really wanted to do the music. And we all kind of go through periods like that. My thing was healthcare. I got into healthcare knowing that I really wanted to be more in entertainment. And like so many other people, I spent 15, 16 years just working in healthcare, and then finally realized that, okay, I really need to do what I want to do. And a lot of times it takes becoming comfortable in your own skin, just like you said.
Sure.
And I don't know if you listened to our first hour, but that's the whole story of our first guest today, Miss Gwen Yvette. That's her whole story, is that she wasn't comfortable in her own skin, and she did some amazing things back in the 90s, and then 20 years passed, 25 years passed, and then she realized that, I really should be doing what I really set out to do, and now she's doing it. And I think it's the same thing with you. I think it's amazing. I think your story is amazing, and I think the music is amazing, and you got something the world can really understand. So I think it's good. It's something that we've been looking for. So, that's why I'm so, elated that you're on the show today, because your story matches mine, and then it matches so many other people out there too. And I know people really get something from hearing people like you.
Yeah. Well, thank you for saying that. Yeah, I definitely think so. And as far as, being comfortable in your own skin, it's hard for independent artists because you're so consumed by the thought of success and by the thought of what people should view you as and what you should look like in the public's eye, and what you should sound like and who you should sound like and what you should be doing and what's trending. And that's why I always try not to get caught up so much in what other people sound like, but just to try new things artistically as an artist. But, I'm also not immune to, being not as confident as far as, my image all the time. My weight has fluctuated throughout the years. I used to be a tiny little thing, and now I'm a grown woman. And I look like a grown woman. I mean, it's all about, like you said, just being comfortable in your own skin, knowing who you are and what you offer to the world. And sometimes that can be hard because obviously we're all human beings, and, we do get in our heads sometimes. But that's kind of just where I am with this project, Stardust. I'm just like, this is what I have to offer. This is what I have to say, and I'm going to be proud of it. I'm going to share it with you guys regardless, so I don't ever want to hold my music back anymore because of that. So
I think that's so great to hear. Like, obviously this project, you mentioned that it took you, a total of 4 years probably to really piece it all together. What kind of were your hopes for Stardust once you got it released? What did you feel like you wanted the album to do?
This particular album, I was more focused on the music than because it took so long to kind of piece together.
Right.
I had obviously recorded a lot more material and kind of picked the winners at the end of the day that I wanted on the album. But it was kind of just I was just kind of winging it. Obviously, I had like a step-by-step marketing plan for it, which is working out well for the most part. I'm on, your station. I'm on several other stations right now, which is nice. Getting reviews, a little bit of press, but just really, it's hard as an individual with a sole marketing plan of one person instead of, having a street team or having a label or, promotional company backing you. You really have to stretch out your resources. So just, I was hoping to get this music video for You and I out, which is actually going to be wrapped up here in the next week. Taking a little bit longer than I thought it would for the video, just because the people that I chose to work on the video with they're actually not specialized in music videos. They actually do documentary type videos of multicultural families and how that affects them as human beings. So I thought that was really interesting, and they heard about the project, about my song and what it meant, and were really interested, and it kind of worked out to where it was like a perfect fit. So it's been a creative experimental project from both sides, so I'm really excited. The video is almost done, and I think you guys are really going to like it. The message is loud, strong, and clear, which is essentially just, we're all human beings. Like, at the end of the day, we're going to have to see eye to eye if we're going to make this work, So I'm excited. Hopefully I can share that with you guys on your website or somewhere here pretty soon, as soon as it gets wrapped up.
Oh, definitely. We'll definitely get that up. And, obviously we're going to be playing the music because I think the music is so amazing, which I actually want to go ahead and get into playing some of this music. Again, I think it's really amazing. What I'm going to have you do is kind of talk about each song, and then we'll play it, and then we'll go to the next one. I know we got 3 here. We have You and I, Live the Dream, and This Is Who I Am. And actually, before we even start, was it difficult for you to pick the singles for the album?
It always is. I'm not going to lie. It always is because I have such a connection with each song on the album. It's really just, at the end of the day, it's really just about what I think people are going to be able to connect to the most, and kind of what's a little bit catchier. My music, obviously, and soul music in general is pretty mellow and chill. Like, well, not all of it, but my music in particular is pretty chill. So I have to take some time and try to figure out, the sounds that are going to appeal to people, from the jump. And the lyrics always seem to come later for listeners in general, but yeah, I don't know. You and I knew for sure, because it's a song that I felt people just need to hear. I felt like it was a song that is crucial to our day and age with everything going on. And then the other 2, I don't know, I just love them. I was like, yeah, I'm just going to push them and see what happens. I don't care.
And you know what? I think that's reason enough. That because you love them, I think that's reason enough to make those singles. So I think it's amazing. But we're going to go ahead and get into this music and start playing it. So talk a little bit more about You and I. I know you just talked a little bit about it now, but.
So it's funny because You and I, I've been wanting to write a song like this for a while, but when I first started off with it, so I have a group of producers that I usually work with. This particular one, I wanted more of a 3/4 time type of feel, more of like a retro timing, kind of swingy, jazzy type of feel, which it really didn't turn out to be. But I thought I would reach out to a different producer, the person that produced this particular instrumental with the help of my, I wrote out the chord progression or whatever. His name is John Bonus. So I reached out to him. Together we came up with the instrumental, and at first it was going to be a song more about, I don't know, it just felt like a You and I ride or die type of thing. but obviously more chill. But as I was listening to it, I was like, I don't know, it just, You and I, can we try to see eye to eye is what came into my mind. And after that, I was like, okay, this is the one. This is the song that I need to write. This is the time that I'm going to write it. And it just came together pretty easily after that. And then I was like, ooh, let me throw some news audio in there from some calls or whatever. And it just all kind of worked out pretty good for me. I think the song ultimately was a success. Obviously, the song is about the turmoil in the world that we're facing right now, whether it is international terrorist attacks, whether it's ISIS, whether it's political drama or whatever the case might be. That's kind of where we are, whether it's, Black Lives Matters, taking a knee, whether it's anything you can imagine. Basically, it's saying, okay, you and I, we're both people. We're really not that different, so let's just stop all this nonsense and get on the same page. So I hope you guys love it. Please reach out to me on one of my social platforms or my website and let me know how you feel about it. I'm always open to feedback. So
we're going to go ahead and actually play it right now. So this is Zanya Laurence with you and I right here on Indie Soul Saturdays. Hey, I absolutely love it. Like, have you started going out performing yet?
Yeah, I've done quite a few gigs out here in the Denver area. That one, I've only performed a couple of times, but yeah, it's gotten a good response.
That was going to be my question. I would imagine that it would get a good response. I love that song.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad you like it.
It's funny. My PR manager and I were kind of just chatting, and it kind of takes us back, almost reminiscent of Lisa from back in the day.
Well, that's dope. I like it. Cool.
Cool though. I mean, that honestly for us that just says that it's really hot. So we really love the song.
Yeah, for sure. That's a compliment for sure. Well, thank you. I'm really glad you guys like it, and thank you again for playing it. That means the world.
Oh, most definitely. So now talk a little bit about Live the Dream.
Live the Dream, I mean, it pretty much says it all in the title. Basically, the song kind of starts off where I'm talking about my mom always kind of instilled in me that I could kind of do whatever it was that my heart desired. And throughout the years, I just, that stayed with me. And I was like, I'm going to do what my heart desires. And for me, that means making music, being successful, living comfortably. And that's what I sought after, throughout my adult years. And ultimately it just talks about, living the dream is different for each individual. For me, obviously that's what it means to me, but it could mean having a Tesla or a Lamborghini for another person. It could be, just having food to put on the table for your children.
Right.
It's different for everyone. So for me, that's what it means. It basically just means whatever it is, whether you want to be in healthcare, whether you want to do music, whether you want to, do something in some creative capacity or be rich or, whatever it is that you want to do, you have to follow that. Live the dream, live it up. There's only one life that you have to live. So do it and do it your way. And that's basically what the song is about.
I think that's so amazing, and I definitely live by that. I know so many other people who live by that as well. We're going to go ahead and play the song. This is Zanya Laurence right here on Indie Soul Saturdays with Live the Dream. Hey, once again, amazing song.
Thank you. I like that
Like,
one.
what has been the most difficult thing for you about living your dream?
I would say just being in my head too much. That's kind of, it just seems like when it rains, it pours. That's kind of how life tends to work out. And so it just, I get caught up thinking like, I haven't had like huge success. Like, what am I doing? Is this supposed to be what I'm doing? Or like sometimes there's just too much pushback. Like, there was a time out here in Denver when I was the lead singer in a 7-piece R&B band. And it was so hard, like trying to get everyone on the same page. Like having a band is hard work, people. It is not easy. Like, I mean, we're just talking about just trying to get everyone in the same room at the same time and then trying to decide on the songs you want to do. And it's a lot of hard work. And I've been really, really trying, for such a long time. Like there come times where, I'm just, it makes you wonder, like, what are you doing what you're supposed to be doing, or are you forcing it, and being in my head, I think, has been the hardest part for me. But again, I'm only human. I feel like, everyone kind of deals with the same type of emotions and thoughts, but that's ultimately, again, what Live the Dream is about. It's like, know who you are in your heart, know what you love, and pursue that. And money isn't everything, success, fame, all that stuff. It's not even tangible. Like, obviously the most important things in life aren't tangible, like love. But, it really just boils down to what makes you happy. And so for that, that's the reason why I've kept pushing forward and making music and sharing my music. So pretty much it.
And I think the thing is that we kind of all go through that, especially when you're pursuing something like what it is that you're doing, or if you're running a business or whatever. Sometimes we kind of get in our head too much. So I think that so many people can definitely relate to that. I mean, it's definitely something that people can relate to, and I think that's why, again, your music is resonating with so many people, because they can relate to what it is that you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's kind of like the little breakdown part where it's saying, no one can hold you, 100, 1,000, 1,000,000. It's just, it's me kind of reiterating to myself that I'm the only one really that can hold myself back,
Exactly.
If I really want something, I'm going to keep pushing, and really no one can stop me if I'm that determined, so that's kind of the goal. But like you said, when you're starting a business or when you're doing something creative or whatever, something risky, obviously you're always going to second guess yourself, because things don't happen overnight. Even a project like Stardust, I could have thrown it together in a year or whatever, and that's not really the point that I'm trying to make. But do I want it to be finished? Do I want to share it? those are the questions that I have to ask myself in order to get it done. Like, how am I going to make this happen? You know, think it through, make it happen.
I think that's definitely amazing. So the next song, the last song that we have to play, This Is Who I Am. Talk a little bit about that one.
This one, I just had to put a little sass on it. I don't know. This Is Who I Am is just me in my funky little corner being like, you know, what? You know, I ultimately I'm my own person, and you know, I do what I do, and I'm not, you know, stupid here, but I've been doing it for a while. You know, I do what I do as well as I can do it, and you know, this is who I am. If you don't like it, you know, go find something you do like. That's cool with me. I'm not bothered. I'm not gonna lose sleep over it. You know, this is what I do, and you know, I'm gonna put a little funk on it in the process. So that's just really what the song is about. It's like, be you, do you. Don't worry about what other people think, because you can't make everyone happy. It doesn't matter if it's, you know, someone in your job or someone that's going to be judging you, or the next artist that's jelly over whatever. There's always going to be people with their own judgments and their own thoughts, and it's like, don't worry about all of that. Just do you and be fabulous.
I think that's amazing. So we're going to go ahead and play that right now. This is Zanya Laurence with This Is Who I Am right here on Indie Soul Saturday. Once again, amazing song. All the songs that you presented to us today are amazing. But talk about the album in its entirety, though.
Well, thank you. Stardust, okay, so obviously it's a collection of songs that I kind of been working on for a while, but the title, Stardust, the reason I chose that title is because I'm really into astronomy. I'm a bit of a geek when it comes to that. And I do believe that whatever it is that you believe that this kind of can kind of work with, that we are all essentially made of stardust. It, comes together, expands, whether you call that God or, a higher power, it's all part of a greater, grander scheme of things. And ultimately we're all the same. We're all part of the same stuff, whether, whatever it is. So I kind of wanted that to be the focus because I knew You and I was going to be a single for the album, and it kind of emphasizes that as well in the song. But just kind of, saying that, we're all the same. We're all made of the same stuff. If you look up in the, sky, it's all the same stuff. So that's kind of what I wanted. And I wanted to kind of have different titles throughout the album that kind of led back to that title, Stardust. So like Dark Matter, what was the other one? Stardust. There's a few in there. And I just wanted it to kind of tell a story from beginning to end. I wanted it to be like you're kind of riding a wave. There's no breaks. It's just kind of flowing from one song to the next. And if you listen to it in its entirety, it kind of tells you, it takes you on a journey. And I thought that was important for me. And I always try to create or arrange an album with that in mind because as the years pass by and technology advances, you find that we're losing, the art of the album, and we're kind of investing more in singles, and now not even so much singles or digital sales, but more streaming, to where you don't really, well, I don't know. I'm not real positive about streaming entire albums. I know people are on a lot of streaming services, and it kind of just shuffle plays anything. So for this album, I wanted it to be one cohesive project to where you can listen to it from the beginning and take it all the way to the end and feel like there's a resolve, feel like it's complete, and that was kind of the idea of how I wanted the emotion to feel throughout. If you listen to it, there's a little bit of drama, a little bit of turmoil in the beginning, and then throughout the end, throughout the middle, I'm kind of reflecting a little bit, and then throughout the end, there's a song called Soulmate, which is dedicated to my husband, obviously. And so I've kind of found, where I belong. I found happiness. And then at the very, very end, I end with a track called This Is Who I Am Part 2. And it's a lot funkier. It's got like a little reggae dude on it. It's kind of dancey, but it kind of ends off on a high note. So that's kind of what I wanted for the project. And I think it worked out pretty well.
Hey, I think it definitely did as well. Again, we're really grateful that you came onto the show. It was really awesome being able to play the music and then being able to obviously get kind of the behind the scenes and all of the information on the album. Are there any other projects that you're working on now?
Right now, I'm still focusing on this one. I'm still reaching out to a bunch of people trying to get more exposure for it. And then obviously, like I said, we're wrapping up the music video this coming week, so that's exciting, and I will make sure to share that with you guys. There have been talks of a possible EP with some of my throwback homies from Albuquerque, thinking about throwing together a little project with them because that's kind of where I started out, and a lot of them have went on to do, great things as well, so I'm possibly looking forward to that. A producer that I work with a lot, his name is Cooley D, he kind of pitched the idea to me. I thought, it was fantastic. So that's an idea. And I've always wanted to do an acoustic, just straight acoustic album. So I might be focusing on that here pretty soon too. But I don't know. I'm just going to keep on making music, and wherever it takes me, that's where I'm going to be.
I think that's amazing. So people who want to stay in contact with you, keep up with you, where can they find you at outside of your website, which I know is Zanya Music, ZanyaMusic.com. But then what about social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook?
Yeah, I'm on pretty much every social media platform, and it's basically the website.com/Zanya Laurence. That's Z as in zebra, ANYA, Laurence, LAURENCE, is my name, my tag, whatever you want to call it, at the end. So twitter.com/Zanya Laurence, youtube.com/Zanya Laurence, facebook.com/Zanya Laurence, instagram.com/Zanya Laurence. So please, please, please follow, like, share, subscribe. I would be infinitely appreciative, and I would love, love, love to hear from you guys. Definitely reach out to me at some point, and I will get back to you. And I would just like to hear your thoughts on the album and stay in touch.
Hey, once again, I think it was really amazing. I'm so grateful to you for coming on to the show. We definitely will have you back whenever you like. We'll be getting this conversation also uploaded onto iTunes so that then people will be able to go back and kind of listen to it again at their own leisure. But, again, thank you so much. And like I said, we'll definitely get you back on.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Dan. Have a good one.
You too. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
You too. Bye.
And there you have it, Source Nation. That was Miss Zanya Laurence. Definitely check for those to be uploaded to iTunes. We appreciate you guys for tuning in. Welcome back. We are here, and we're here to stay. So we will catch you same time, same place next Saturday, and enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Get at me for beats, y'all.